Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation podcast. I'm your host, Jake Gill. Today we're with Adam Bay from Happy Hour Brewfest. Adam, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Got you a pup behind you, do you?
Yeah, one of my little zoo of dogs is hanging out behind me, looking out the window for squirrels.
There you go. There you go. Adam, give us a little background on you. Where did you grow up?
So I'm originally from New York City. I've been around many places just in my adult life and travels, transitions. My career has taken me many places. So now I am in Keene, New Hampshire.
Okay.
So, well, professionally, or at least up until this point, I've been almost exclusively in IT. But the last several years, I've really immersed into the beer industry. Now, as far as how it ties in, yeah, for many years on and off, I've been a bartender throughout my adult life. So, at least I've always had some connection to the industry. And what I found is I really found myself enjoying craft beer. So that's where I started kind of digging in a little more. Eventually, I was working at prior breweries and then reached a point where myself and a few friends ended up buying a brewery. So the next step was me actually putting on a beer festival.
Absolutely. So why a beer festival? Where did that come from?
Well, I actually had a project that didn't come to fruition last year. So I also happen to be a retired professional wrestler. So what I wanted to do was bring the two worlds together and have a wrestling event with a beer festival in the background. So that
Uh,
way, it basically I had breweries signed up. Some of the breweries were going to collaborate with some of the wrestlers and produce a beer specifically, promoting the wrestler for the event. Yeah, it was not going to be a huge event. We're talking like 400, 500 people. But if nothing else, that was sort of a baby that I tried, and it didn't come to fruition. So then I decided, okay, I saw that the company that was putting on the Denver Winter and Summer Brew Fest was up for sale. So I ended up purchasing that company. And this past weekend was my first running one of the Denver Brew Fests.
Fantastic. Man, that's crazy. All right. So give the listener a visual of what your brew fest looked like.
So, for those of you who are in the Denver area, the venue is Mile High Station. So that's actually like two parking lots across from Empower Field. So if you've ever been in that venue, it's a beautiful two-floor venue where the second floor has basically sort of like this rectangular balcony view. So you can actually see down to the first floor from just about anywhere from that central portion. And the way I had things laid out, for the Winter Brewfest in particular, we had a lot of the breweries and vendors on the first floor. We had maybe about 10 breweries and vendors on the second floor. And we had a heated tent outside with some breweries, vendors, and the stage for live music.
Perfect. So let's talk about your favorite beer. If you had to create, and I'm sure that it's never a perfect endeavor, but in your mind, in your ideal mind, what is the perfect beer?
It's funny that you have that question because it feels like every couple of years my tastes change.
Yep.
So I remember when I first entered craft beer, I started being like a real IPA hound. I was all about the hops. Then I started having or was introduced to the first wave of hazy IPAs, then was all about that. Then I'd always been into the big stouts, barrel aged stouts or non-barrel aged stouts. I liked, something that was rich, had like a full body, and you could really get all the flavors. Believe it or not, the last couple of years, I've been drinking more lighter styles, lagers, pilsners, uh, Kolsch's. So I've been really enjoying the lectures. And I will say right now, at this moment, my favorite style is a Mexican lager.
Oh,
So it's got that clear and crispiness, but the corn from the Mexican lager adds like a little hint of sweetness to balance it out. So yeah, that's sort of like an easy crusher for me right now.
there you go. So why a brew fest? Why start a festival for for beer lovers?
Well, at least my philosophy, I think in the past, the people who ran this festival, it was sort of a mix, big brand, small brand, but not the representation of small independent craft that I like to envision. So this go round, going down the list of breweries, the overwhelming majority are small independent craft beer entities, and this is a perfect opportunity to have, say, so we had what, like 1,600 to 1,800 people Saturday total between the two sessions. I guarantee that the overwhelming majority of them got to try beers that either A, they never got to try before because the location of the brewery, or B, they never heard of the brewery. They got to try beers and like, oh wow, never heard of you guys. This is great. And they just got introduced to something new.
Yeah, very, very, very cool. What's the importance of getting people together for you with a common interest? I mean, obviously you have an interest in beer and you have an interest in business and entrepreneurship, but the idea of getting people together with like minds, that's got to be rewarding for you in some level.
100%. I mean, to me, I view beer as a vehicle of joy. And, people don't get together and drink beer because they're angry.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like beer is a great tool to unite people.
yeah. No, that's fantastic. All right, so what's the outlook for Happy Hour Brewfest coming up?
So let's see. In July, we've got Denver Summer Brewfest, same venue, similar setup, except we don't need a heated tent for summer. And then August, I've got the Brew Owl, which is going to take place in the Vale Valley. So that's going to be a beautiful event. It's going to be right by Nottingham Lake. So beautiful scenery, great backdrop, gorgeous, gorgeous setup, and it'll have sort of a luau theme to it.
All right. Now, I'm in live entertainment. I'm in live music full time, so I always ask these two questions. Adam, what is the best concert you've ever been to your entire life?
Best in my life. Well, depends on what aspect. So probably the biggest one, 12/31/99, Pontiac Silverdome. Let's see, it was Seven Dust, Kid Rock, Ted Nugent, and Metallica was the headliner.
Kid
And
Rock.
I was, we're talking top row, I was literally on the top row, as in like I put my hand on the dome of the Silverdome. That's yeah, I got one of the last tickets and I was literally touching the dome. But yes,
Oh, wow.
12/31/99. I was awaiting for the Y2K bug to hit and I was disappointed.
Ah, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so dead or alive, you could bring one act to Happy Hour Brewfest. Who would you bring? Money not an issue. Dead or alive, who would you bring?
Dio. I love Dio.
Yo, perfect. Absolutely. Adam, how do people find out more about you and the events that you host throughout the year?
Sure. So you can go to brewfestevents.com, and on that page, it'll have links to the different festivals throughout the year with a countdown clock letting you know how far we are from the next event. So each year, I'll update it. Once the cycle of events are done, I'll update it for all the upcoming dates. But you can access info for all three festivals from brewfestevents.com.
That's awesome. Adam Bay, thank you for what you do for live entertainment, live music, live events, just gathering people together with a heart for happiness. I love that, man. Take care, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks again, Jake. I appreciate you.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a